It was crazy to find out that your childhood idol is your sister. You know, disbelief because these things happen in the movies. This is not real life, you know? My parents told me from as early as I can remember that I was adopted, that my ethnicity was Romanian. My earliest memories were watching gymnastics on TV, probably 6 years old, maybe 5 or 6, and I was just drawn to it. I saw myself in her. She was small and I was small. She had the features like I did. I knew she was Romanian. I knew I was Romanian. She had that spunky little personality just like me. So as a child, I just related to her. Right before I turned 16, I asked my mom if there was anything she knew about my biological family that I didn't know. So she goes and she gets this big folder full of just papers. I just vividly remember that. And she says, you know, you're never gonna believe this, but your biological last name is Moceanu. And I knew exactly when she said that, it meant that my childhood idol was my sister. When I first met my sisters, it was surreal, but natural. We look alike, we sound alike, our mannerisms are the same. Oh my gosh, I love your house.
I can give you a little tour.
Yeah. When I met my younger sister, Christina especially, it was like looking in the mirror. I think she loves the fact that I am a gymnast and an acrobat, aerialist, and that I was in the same field. It adds to the irony of this entire story that we've led these paralleled lives, and it just shows how strong our DNA is, that we both, well, we all three did gymnastics, really. People always talk about Jen overcoming this and overcoming that, and I thought, this is a true challenge. This is truly something to overcome.
She's amazing. She's wonderful to work with. She's, you look into her eyes and it's just this bright light, bright energy. It's been quite the awesome opportunity.
I don't want to use any of the cliche words like inspirational, motivational, but she is. She's crazy. I've never seen an attitude like hers on another person. She only looks at the positive.
I'm just here trying to hold on, and I'm trying to really use my gifts and talents to have a positive impact on others.
It's not weird that I go to the gym. Like, that's what I'm trying to do, is show people like this is normal.
"31-year-old Lindsay Hilton was born without limbs, but she is not letting that stop her from competing in one of the world's most extreme fitness competitions.
CrossFit is like that. It's a very encouraging atmosphere, even though it's a very competitive atmosphere.
CrossFit contests are notoriously grueling, But Lindsay just ranked second in her division in the Wadapalooza tournament after completing demanding training sets.
So we're gonna do some cleans, some squats, do a little bit of muscle up work, handstand work, parallel holds.
The high-intensity exercise involves elements from several disciplines that even the fittest athletes find grueling.
I think it takes a lot of guts. Lindsay's achievements have been really, really great so far. She started CrossFit just over a year ago. Over the last year, she's gone from not even having a way to do pull-ups to now busting out pull-ups one after the other. Handstands, cleans, Olympic weightlifting.
She always sort of thought skipping was something she was never going to do, so she was going to be disappointed, and then now she learned how to skip. So.
Overcoming challenges is something Lindsay has thrived on for her entire life.
I can't wallow in the fact that I don't have arms and legs because there's nothing that I could ever do to change the outcome. My parents found out that I was going to be missing all of my limbs once I was born. I have two older siblings, and I can remember, playing outside in the backyard, or we have a cottage in Chester, and I always, we swam there, we boated, we did all sorts of stuff. I'm sure it maybe looked unique to people, but for me, it was normal, and it was the way I always did things. So when I was really young, I wore prosthetic arms and prosthetic legs. I no longer wear prosthetic arms for everyday use. I stopped wearing them because I had a pair once that just kept breaking. So I started doing stuff without them and realized that I could do a lot of things faster or easier. So I just kind of got used to it.
The CrossFit training regime is notoriously tough.
In terms of her attitude, same as any other athlete, she comes in and whines and complains about whatever the workout is up on the board, mopes around a little bit, doesn't want to get into the warm-up, just like anyone else.
Right now, I'm really trying to get to the gym at least 5 times a week. So I am trying to step up my game.
And Lindsay is adamant that she doesn't need to give more thought to safety than anyone else.
I don't think I take extra precaution. I think I would take the same precaution as anybody else.
You always have to kind of gauge, is she struggling because it's a challenging thing that she's doing, or is she struggling for any other reason, and should I help?
There's no sense being scared. If I had been scared or thought, oh, it's not for me, there's no way I can do this, honestly, my life would be so different. And I do post videos of me doing things because it's okay, well, I'm gonna try this, and maybe that will motivate somebody in a similar situation to try something. Back in March, a video of me doing a workout kind of went viral, I'll say. So the CrossFit main site, so CrossFit headquarters posted a video of me on their Facebook page, and it got 7 million views or something like that, which was crazy. I still did get a lot of positive responses from that.
And Lindsay hopes that her videos will inspire people from all walks of life for years to come.
I guess my main message that I'm trying to kind of share with people is to just try. I always think that you shouldn't let the fear of the unknown hold you back. So I always say just try.
They ask them the same question over and over again, and that is, how tall are you?
Well, their first reaction is a little shock that they're seeing somebody this big. Then they start asking questions like, how tall are you? Are you really this tall?
He's sensitive, and people stare, they look, they point.
And then other people, they're real rude about it, holy hell, how tall are you? You're one big dude.
This is brave Hunter Williams. He's 17 years old and currently stands at an incredible 7'1".
When I was 5 years old, I was 5'3". They thought I was actually a second grader, so they put me in the second grade class for an hour. By the time I was 10, I was just hitting 6'6".
Every day he grew more and more, so that was when I kind of got worried. The doctors were alarmed.
When I was younger, the doctors thought I had giantism and got tested for it because I was growing up at an alarming rate. This is my bed. The base is all custom made. My feet still hang out a little bit.
Worrying about him having something like giantism or anything was really tough. Finally, to get the word that, yeah, you just got a tall kid was really relieving, to say the least.
I had to get this specially made. My mom had to do all the measurements. And then over here, I got size 21 shoes. Here's one smaller than Shaq. My great uncle, he was 7'5", and he made a pine tree look like a sapling, so I think that's where I got most of my height from.
Although it's no longer causing worry among his doctors, Brave's height now strikes fear into his opponents.
The hardest thing playing against Brave is his height. You don't play against 7-footers too often, unless you're in the NBA. Around here, there's 1 in a million.
Sports I like to play are football and basketball. And I think I'm going to try out lacrosse as goalie.
He's a big boy. All he's got to do is just turn around and look at the basket and just places it in. Doesn't even have to jump.
My height affects my sports in football. It's easier to swat down passes on the line and swim move over anybody. And in basketball, easier to get rebounds and everything. And for lacrosse, with the width of my shoulders and all that, and the height of the goal, it's easy to like block any shot. It's just my body.
He definitely has the figure to be a pro baller, but he's got to put in the work. He's got the work ethic to get him there if he wants to.
Growing up this tall has had its drawbacks.
Growing up abnormally tall was a little bit rough. I'd try and hang out with my friends and they'd have like a swing set or something, and I'd be like the size of a teenager trying to ride a 5-year-old ride. I didn't know my strength back then. My mom would always be like, calm down, just don't hit him too hard.
I remember one year I told him, you're gonna be living outside if you break one more thing. That's when he took the whole door off of the pantry. That's what holds all the snacks. Like, how hungry are you? The doctors say my son's gonna grow until he's 21. Well, he's 7'1" now, and 7'5" is the forecast. And yeah, he is big, he is tall, but he's also very, very intelligent. He's always on the honor roll or the merit roll at the very least. And to tell you the truth, he really doesn't try that hard.
Yes, I would like to become a professional athlete, but first I'd like to go to college and like get all my studies in order first.
I've thought about my son being tall for a long time, you know, and I think there's a reason, because people should listen to him, and him being that tall gets him noticed. I know he's gonna do good things. I know he's gonna do big, big things.
I think with just a little persistence can turn a negative into something really cool. Everything I do in life revolves around riding in one way or another. I've had a couple bad crashes, definitely hit my head a few times.
It's so scary to watch him do his tricks.
My favorite trick at a skate park is either a 360 or a handstand. Any of the scary ones tend to be my favorite. My name is Aaron Wheels Fotheringham, and I'm a professional WCMX rider. WCMX stands for Wheelchair Motocross, and it's pretty much taking skateboard tricks and BMX tricks and doing them on a wheelchair. I have 6 official Guinness World Records. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese! I was the first person to land a backflip, a double backflip, a front flip, a backflip 360, a backflip 180 on a wheelchair. most difficult trick that I have landed is the double backflip. I was 14 at the time, and I landed the first backflip on a wheelchair at 8:57 p.m., July 13th, 2006. I think that was when it really opened my eyes that what is really possible. I ride a wheelchair because I was born with spina bifida. The most challenging thing about life with spina bifida would probably be the way other people treat me because of it. Yesterday I rolled into a skate park and this guy was just like staring at me like, what are you doing in here with a wheelchair? But then like by the time I was leaving, he was just totally pumped.
Before you know it, it starts moving out into the house. Here comes a trophy house. And...
Hooked up with some people I know so I can do a backflip off of a bulldozer bucket.
Oh, really?
Growing up, I spent a lot of time in the hospital. That was rough. This was one of my hospital visits. This was one of my least favorite casts.
Aaron, say hi.
Stuck in that thing for months. I feel like riding has given me, meaning. Pretty much everything I do in life revolves around riding in one way or another. My biggest supporter is my wife. She's always there to support me.
When I first started dating Aaron, the concern of me taking on a lot of responsibility was a concern of my family members, and they actually vocalized that they were worried that I would have to do a lot more of the household duties or just anything. They didn't understand maybe Aaron's mindset when it came to disability.
Sometimes I do need help, but 99% of the time I'm totally cool. Since meeting Charlie, I feel like I've become just even more motivated. My tricks have progressed so much, and I think just overall as a human, my life has just gotten so much better.
It is so scary to watch him do his tricks. He's not gonna give up. And sometimes I wish that he would stop, but the successes are so much greater because he accomplishes them after all of the hard work.
I've had a couple bad crashes, definitely hit my head a few times. You gotta just kind of weigh the risk versus reward and just kind of go for it.
Look at this one.
I think social media is really important. I feel like I definitely handle the negative comments a lot better than I used to. It still bugs the crap out of me, but you just gotta realize that the number of positive, nice people far outnumbers the negative trolls.
I'm following him on Instagram, and just the fact that he landed the world's first ever double backflip on a wheelchair. It's just so amazing. He's an inspiration to us all.
If you watch him, you watch the way he moves with his chair, and it literally looks like they are one and the same. And it's beautiful to watch.
I can be as creative as I want, and I feel like I never run out of things to do. Right when I land something that's been on my bucket list forever, something else pops up, and I just feel like the possibilities are really endless. In a way, I feel like spina bifida has given me everything. The opportunities I've seen because of my wheelchair have just been unreal, and I wouldn't change it for anything.